Okay guys, so we try to implement our Fibonacci analysis on the chart, and we start with alright, this stocks, alright, called Tesla again. And before we do any analysis, what we must do is we have to draw the trend line. Alright, this is from our previous plotting. You can see that this is the trend line. Alright, this is demand, this is the supply line, this is demand, this is supply line. Alright, this is demand and supply line. Now what we're trying to do is that we're trying to see the market in terms of power, and we will apply Fibonacci to see either there is power or not. Alright, now if you want to use Fibonacci, right, you have in any platforms there is provided Fibonacci tools, and you have to look for it. And for example, like in this charting services, so it called a Fibonacci retracement. All right, Fibonacci retracement. Now you can see that there's a lot of types of Fibonacci, and what you want to do is you want to choose Fibonacci retracement. All right, so you want to do Fibonacci retracement analysis. And now, before I'm doing this, I want to mention to you guys that especially for our analysis, all right, especially for our analysis, now this is quite a little bit different from what you had learned or what being taught outside. All right, as far as I know. And what you want to do with Fibonacci analysis is that you want to take this level is a 0, a distinct low, and you want to take the next high to a distinct high, which is the 100%. Okay, I hope you get what I mean. You don't have to plot this, by the way, but I just want to mention to you that this is when you're doing the Fibonacci plotting. So this is the 0% and this is the 100%. All right, so what you can do is, for this Fibonacci tools, you can do is you just plot here, and right now what I mean by 100 is that it's always indicate 1 in Fibonacci analysis and 0 as 0 in Fibonacci analysis. All right, so what you can see here is that you can see alright, there is a line of retracement and line of demand line and line of the retracement, pardon me. And this is, you can see that the retracement goes up to 0.5. alright, 0.5. What it means is that the retracements goes at 0.5% or 50% of retracement demand line, and then it goes upward. All right, it goes upward. And now you can see that majority in this line is downward position, and you can see after it reached 0.5, it rebound upward and make a bullish trend. All right, now what I mean by it is different from another Fibonacci analysis is that we are usually using this as 0 point, and this is 100 point. All right, 100 point. Usually we use in normal condition we use this as 0, and this is 100. So it gonna be like this, right? It's gonna be like this. So you can see that this is 0. You can see that it still yield the same result because of the line reaches at 50% of demand line. All right, all right. What you want to do is that you put this 100% and you put this as a distinct low, which is 0%. All right, so what you're gonna do next is that you have to count the time it comes from this point to this point, to the peak, so you have to measure the candles inside here. Alright, you have to measure the candles inside here. So in my software I have this I can use these tools to count my bars or count the candle, which is actually the days of the candle from the distinct low and the distinct high. Alright, so you can see that automatically that this is 33 bars, right? From this point to this distinct low to distinct high is 33 bars. Alright, so from this point to this point is 8 bars. Alright, so what we're trying to do is that we're trying to measure the time component. Alright, we're trying to measure the time component between the bullish and the retracement. So now this is time component number 1. So this is time component number 2, right? So the time component number 1 is yield a result or yield a time of 231 days. Alright, and this bars is indicated of the weekend or the weekly bars, and it has 7 days in it. So on the time frame number 2 for the retracement, it took 56 days for it to goes up. Alright, now what I'm trying to show you is that and you have to remember this, if T1 more than T2, so the next Fibonacci target is 0.618, right? 0.618. So you have to remember this. This is the rules that you need to implement, right? Now what you need to implement is that now regarding on the retracement, there's nothing we can do about it. Alright, nothing we could do about it, and usually a retracement can usually retrace at 0.618, 0.5 and 0.382 of Fibonacci retracement, and this is most 70% of the one from the theoretical knowledge that we had learned before is that most of the time retracement goes to 0.618 and 0.382. Alright, and 0.5 is also considered to be quite normal. Alright, quite normal, but it's not as frequent as 0.618 and 0.382. Now regarding on the retracement, there's nothing we can do about it. In order to see there is a retracement, we have to see the candle reversal. Alright, we have to see the candle reversal, and we will tell you on how did you can be able to identify a reversal and get into the stock quite accurately in at the retracement. Alright, now we goes to this our topic first, which is the Fibonacci. Now what we're trying to do is that we're trying to measure our target. Try to measure our target, which is what we call as Fibonacci extension. Alright, now our rules is if T1 more than T2, the next Fibonacci target is 0.618. Now the next step that you must do is you have to drag this line 0 line to this line. Alright, you have to move. Now you can see that the next Fibonacci target is 0.618. Alright, now you can see here but you can see that now you can see that let me take this a simple thing. We take this just it hit its target, right? 0.618. Now you can see that it achieved its target. After it achieved its target, it start to retrace. Alright, start to retrace. Now for this line, the Fibonacci hit it target up. Alright, it hit it target up. Now, right now, you can do, next you can do to measure the next target. Set this as distinct high, and this is the distinct low, which is 1, and this is 0, or this is 100, or this is 0. And then what you can do is that you have to identify, right, how much is this candle from here to the peak. Alright, now sometimes if you don't have this if you don't have this function to calculate your bars or candles, so sometimes you have to do it manually to see how much is the candles there. Alright, so that you can see that it takes 91 days from this bottom to get to this distinct high, and it took 70 days to get from this bottom high to this bottom low. Now you can see that this rule is still applied. Alright, this rule is still applied, which is T1 more than T2. Right, so the next target should be 0.618. so you move this up, so what you can see is that it hit its target. Right, it hit its target again. So after it retraces, what it means by this is that it will go up again. It will go up. Now, right now, you can see it hit its target up. Now we measure again. We measure Fibonacci target for the next line. Alright, Fibonacci target for the next line. So what we have to do is that here to here, 0, and again this is the distinct high and this is the distinct low. So you have to calculate how many candle here. Alright, how many candle here. So now you can see there is a difference in the trend line. Now you can see there is a changes in time of the candle. Alright, there is changes in time candle for bullish candle and the total of bearish candle in this loop. Alright, if T1 less than T2, the Fibo target would be 1.618. Alright, 1.618. Now we can see previously is that The Fibo target previously is 0.618, which is quite easy to achieve for the first and the second line, and the second and the third demand line, and we want to measure either these have potential to achieve its target or not. Now we can see either it goes up or not. Alright, now what we can see is that the new Fibo target is 1.618 because of this T1 is less than T2. Right now, let's measure our target. Just move to this distinct low, and it is quite pretty close, and the new target is 1.618. Now you can see that the Fibonacci trend moved from 0.618 to 1.618, which is now is actually impossible, or is getting harder for the buyer to achieve its Fibonacci target. And then when it goes to 1.618, it's normally not achieve its target, right, before it reaching the target, so it will retrace, and this is an indication that the buyer is exhaustive. Alright, so now our target is here, and our Fibonacci is up until this previous high, or the resistance line is start going downward. So Fibonacci analysis or the Fibonacci extension is quite accurate because it has been proven a long time ago, and you can see that if it's not achieve its targets, alright, if not achieve its target, then it has potential to reverse. Alright, then the next line, alright, the market has potential to go downward. Now we can see that this line going and achieve lower low than its previous low. Alright, its previous low. Now, right now, if we want to analyze Fibonacci as power analysis, then alright, if you see at this level, if we don't have to use power analysis if we don't have to use Fibonacci analysis, because Fibonacci is quite we have to identify the distinct high and distinct low and drag to measure the Fibonacci target or the extension. But if you have the knowledge regarding on power analysis, then you can see that, right, you can see that this line, right, this line is if compared with this loop, right, you can see that it's getting less power. Thus, when it does not have power, alright, now let me show you what I mean by that, which line it is. I hope you can get what I'm saying, and you are able to identify what I'm talking about. Which line do we which line do we are talking here? Right, hold on a moment. So I'm looking for a rectangular shape of alright, now I found it. Now if we are looking at this loop, alright, these two loops, alright, you can see that from this loop it has power to go up. Alright, this is still in an uptrend movement. Now you can see that at this loop, right, the second loop, you can see it retraced, the seller retraced back to the buyer line. It almost retraced back to the or the origin point of the buyer or the demand line. Alright, compared to this loop. Alright, now it's indicate that if it has no power, it has low chance to move higher than previous high for the next line. So you can see immediately the effect from this point to this point, it failed to reach the distinct high. Now how good is that? Right? How good is that? So subsequently, right, the Fibonacci target is not achieved. Now the power is also indicated that there is no power in the market. So what next is that you can see the market goes down below its lower low, and actually when it rebound here, you can see it making lower low and lower high. Right, now how did you want to measure the new target for your, right, for your downward, right, for your downward? Now if you want to measure target for your downward movement for Fibonacci analysis, so what you can do here is that you can put this as AA, and right, I think this is supposed to be B, right, and this is supposed to be A, right, A, B and C line. So you need 3 points, right, in order to do Fibonacci analysis, right? So you analyze, took the distinct high and the distinct low, right, and then you have to calculate the candle, right? You have to calculate the candle. So at this point it's 203 days. So this point is, right, 119 days. So we can see that for this downward, T1 is more than T2, right? T1 right, this one is 119 days. So you can see that T1 is more than T2, right? Now compared to the upward market or bullish market, for downward market, if T1 less than T2, right, T1 more than T2, the Fibo target would be 1.618, right? So it's a mirroring of from the upward market, right? You can see that this, if T1 more than T2, the Fibonacci target is 0.618 for the upward market, right? But if we measure target down, if T1 more than T2, the next target supposed to be 1.618, all right, 1.618. Now what you can see is that, all right, now you make this is the distinct low for the downward market, and this is the distinct high for the downward market. All right, now what you have to do is, right, can you guess what you need to do next? What we need to do next is we have to drag this Fibonacci to the new C line from A to C. Right, now we can see that the target 1.618 is far beyond it's not achieve it target, right? This is now have to remember not achieve Fibo target, right? This, that. Next, not achieve Fibo target. So what did you find here? What did our finding is that both upward and downward market is not achieved. Next, what it will do is that it try to go, all right, it try to go sideways, all right, because from what we can see is that for upward target is not achieved and downward target is not achieved, then it will go sideways, all right. It's not going downward, but rather it is go sideways. Now you have to remember, if it achieve a target 0.618 1.618 below this, after it retrace, it will go lower. But in this line we can see that it's not reaching its target downward, thus it will go sideways in the future. Sideways. Now we can see that it goes up to this point, right? It goes up to this point. Now what you can do is that you can change this. If you want to use Fibonacci as your analysis, right, you have to change this A, B, C, and we are now trying to measure our target up, right? We try to measure our target up. Try to measure our target up. Then what we are noticing here is that it took 119 days to go up and 203 days to go down, right? So what it means by this, if this is less than this, the next target would be, if T1 less than T2, the next target would be 1.618, alright, 1.618. Now from A, right, you move to C, alright, same goes to this line. Now we can see that 1.618 again is not achieved. It's not achieved, am I right? So what it means is that it's try to go sideways. Right? Now, previously the target not achieved downwards, and now the target not achieved upward. Alright? Now we try to, and subsequently, let me finish this. We try to measure our target now. Alright, our target now. Try to measure our target now. So we have identified which one is point A, B, C, and we use this as our distinct low for downward target, and this is a distinct high to measure our downward target, and this is point C. And now what you need to do is you have to identify the time needs from this point to this point. So what you can do is that what you can see is T1 is more than T2, right? If T1 more than T2, the Fibonacci target is 1.618. Now you measure here. What you can see is that point C, and what you can see is that, pardon me, sorry, right, 1.618 is way below here, am I right? If T1 right, this T1 is more than T2, the Fibonacci target is 1.618 downward. So now we can see that it's getting inachievable. Alright, it's too way far beyond this downward. So next, what it indicate, it will goes up. Right, it goes up. Now what you can do is that this one is A. Next you measure the target up. So now what we are doing is actually we try to define the market trend. Try to define a market trend. All right. So what you can do is that A, B, C, the same process. Now you have to identify this candle, which is obviously this candle is longer than, is far more a lot compared to this. All right, now this is the distinct high and distinct low. All right, now the Fibonacci target up is getting easy, and when you move Fibonacci distinct low from A to C, you can see it achieve its target. When it achieves its target, it makes some small retracement here and goes up again. Now this is the powerful of Fibonacci target. All right, this is the very powerful analysis, the accuracy of Fibonacci analysis. When it goes, it achieves its target, when it retraces and it goes up again. All right. Now I hope that from this section you learn a lot on how to determine Fibonacci target. And again, if you can see from this, right, if you can see from this line, these two loops are making power. All right, these two loops are making power upward, and thus after it finish its retracement here, it will go upward. All right, power is simple and powerful, but if you want to confirm the trend line, all right, to confirm the upward or downward market, you can use Fibonacci, because Fibonacci yield a clear and confirm the trend, either the trend is going upward or downward. All right, I hope you can see that there is a lot of advantage of Fibonacci analysis. And we will go to the next stocks. All right, we could go to another stocks in the next section. Thank you guys.